So, first of all, I think everyone in business already has some idea of the importance of systems, right? And systems can take a long time to develop, many years sometimes. I remember years ago when I started my business, it was the late 90s, and my first events were from the local newspaper. I literally put an ad in the local newspaper, and I used to get a phone call, and if you just provide a quote over the phone, then you provide a quote over the phone and then they get off the phone and then that lead's gone and you never speak to them again. So you needed to give them something. And so back then, what I used to provide was a music list. I used to print out a 20-page music list and I had a binder book and I used to give them some fridge magnets and I'd post that out to them. Literally, I had to run down to the post office, put it in the mail, and I'd call them back the next day or the day after and follow up and say, hey, I'm just calling to make sure you receive that information in the mail. And having that info was like a lead magnet, because once I got their phone number, now I can follow up and close the sale, right? But back then, it took 2 or 3 days. I had to print a binder book, and it cost money and time and money. But now, people go to your website, they complete your inquiry form, and they get an instant quote. So that process that took a couple of days and costs a few dollars now is instant, right? And I actually remember a long time ago, in the early days also, I was going to a gig with a friend and we were ready to go to the gig and we got to an address that we thought the party was at and there was no one there. So we rang the customer and we said, hey, what's going on? And they're like, we cancelled that. And we're like, what? And so we had this customer that apparently cancelled, and so we didn't collect the deposit, right? Because we didn't know that you need to collect a deposit. And so these are the kind of things that you learn over time through trial and error, right? And so you have to come up with systems to systemize your business, to speed things up, and so that things work the same way every time, right? And my older brother is a software developer, and he started building an app for me around the year 2000. And this helped my business grow back then, and we kept developing this app, adding more things to it. Like when the email inquiries came in from the website, I used to have to copy and paste every single inquiry from there into my app. And then I got my brother to code something to scrape the emails and automatically import them, So these are the things that in the past, they took time and they were kind of complicated, but then as we were able to build the software, we're able to turn things into more instant, automated, systemized processes, right? So anyway, this app that my brother was building me, it was an older software. It was called Microsoft Access. It's very ugly offline software, and we were building that. And around about 2012, I decided to start rebuilding that app into a new version of what we had built, and that's what EMP DJ is. So EMP DJ is something I've been working on for the last 10 years full time, and I haven't really promoted it much yet because I've been wanting to make sure I built everything out well before I go and tell the world all about it. So yeah, I'd like to give you a very quick demo of the EMP DJ application. So in a nutshell, you've got an inquiry form that you embed to your website, and there's inquiry form settings. You can actually customize the design of the email of the form, and also what fields are required and not required, and what things are going to be on step 1 and step 2 of the form. And I actually got that idea from ClickFunnels. They're really good when it comes to landing pages and conversions. So you embed this to your website, right, after you design it, and it should look something like this once you put it into your website. So you got the inquiry form here, and then someone completes this inquiry form. So I'm going to go through that real quickly. So we complete the inquiry form, and what you can actually do is you can have the app quote people based on the type of event, whether it's a general event, 21st, 30th, 40th, or if it's a wedding, or if it's a kids party, you can have the app provide a different quote. And it can also be based on the city that it's in as well. So once I've chosen the city, if there's any existing cities in your app from previous customers, they're going to start to show up as well. So it starts to build a database of all the companies in your app as people complete the inquiry form. And then after they complete the inquiry form, they'll get an instant quote. Now, you don't have to use this to provide an instant quote. It could just be used as an autoresponder to say, hey, we've got your inquiry, someone's going to be in touch, and we'll speak to you soon. But what happens is when you come over to the admin of the app, that's going to come in and it's going to look like a notification, kind of like a Facebook notification, right? So I've designed the app to be a bit more pleasant on the eye in terms of feeling like you're just checking your Facebook, but you're actually checking your business, right? So I can see, let's say if I go and look at last month's sales inquiries, we have 39 inquiries, 12 sales. That's a 31% conversion rate. And so you always know at all time how many inquiries you got, how many sales you got, what's your conversion rate. You can even come down onto the dashboard and we've got some more important reporting which shows your revenue minus your DJ pays. If you're paying DJs, you can see that the purple is the profit, the green is the pays of the DJs. And you can actually see the total revenue here for December was $16,000. So having access to real-time information is going to allow you to better plan your business. If you know that last year you had so many bookings in this month, then you should expect roughly the same or even more and set higher targets, right? So this inquiry comes into the system. It's going to show up here like a newsfeed. You have received a 21st birthday inquiry, and this is again like a feed on your wall. You can see when customers log in and out, when inquiries received, when a booking forms received, contract payments, everything shows up on that wall. And over to the right, you have all your upcoming bookings. Anything that's booked is going to show here by default. So I can see all that at a glance and even how many events are on particular nights. I can click any event from here or anywhere in the app and it's just going to open from the right side of the screen. And all of this is fully mobile friendly. So it's actually designed like a mobile app so that you can just literally push these buttons with your thumb. Confirm the booking, cancel the event, view the invoice, leave a follow-up note. You can even send an email from right here in the app as well and load a template. So it's about having good note-taking when you're following up with people and being able to communicate with people easily. Now what happens is when the inquiries come in, we have a unique follow-up system that I don't think any other CRM has. First of all, they go into this folder or category, new inquiries. I call this make initial contact because I want to put special importance on people we haven't spoken to yet, right? And I want to categorize them separately from the ones I have spoken to but that are not ready to book. So first they go into new inquiries and it says that there's 17 on the list, right? So I'm going to click that. It's going to take me down to the event list on the dashboard and I can see those 17 inquiries. I'm going to click the first one on the list. And from here, I can look at the details, say, okay, this inquiry came in 19th of Feb. This is for the 22nd of Feb for this Saturday. This inquiry came in yesterday or today. And so I can make a decision based on that. I can come down and look at the notes, say, okay, not much has happened here. This person needs a phone call, right? And then after I've dealt with this lead, I'm going to click next and it's going to go to the next one on the list, right? And each time I follow up a lead, I'm going to leave a note, and then if I speak to them and they're not ready to book, I'm going to set a new follow-up date. And when I push the follow-up date into the future, let's say today is 20, I'm going to move that to Saturday. What's going to happen is this event is going to disappear from the list once I push it further into the future, right? So I'm going to close that, and then I'm going to go and refresh on the dashboard, and you'll see this will go from 17 down to 16 because now it's been postponed into the future. Now what happens is after that initial inquiry, they're going to get a follow-up email after 3 days which says, hey, we got an inquiry from you a few days ago, just following up to make sure you received it. And you're going to try and call them on the phone, but if you don't get through to them on the phone, then that email is going to try and get a reaction out of them. And then again, you're going to try to get through to them and they get another email after 10 days that says, hey, we got an inquiry from 10 days ago, we sent you a couple of emails. Sometimes they end up in the spam folder just saying, are you still looking for a DJ? So we're kind of trying to get a response out of them. And they're pre-programmed, these emails. So you can customize all the emails if you want, but they're kind of set there and I already know that they're good intervals for following up leads, right? But what happens if you do actually speak to someone, actually I'm going to go to those new leads again. If you do speak to someone, what you want to do is let the app know that you spoke to them so that it doesn't keep sending those follow-up emails. So you'll click show phone number, and then when you're following up, you can first of all click to call. That can use your Skype or whatever, or if you're, you can copy the number like that. But once you speak to them, you can click made initial contact. And then that means you've made initial contact, and that's going to stop sending that follow-up emails out. And then it's going to say, if they're not ready to book, how do you want to prioritize this? Urgent, high, or low, right? Now, in the past, I used to have a high, medium, and low, but what I found is my salespeople all had a different idea of what high, medium, and low means. So I've now changed it to urgent, high, and low. And urgent means you want to call someone back on the day that you set the follow-up date. High means you want to follow up around about the follow-up date that you set. And low means someone who's a time waster who you're probably not going to follow up anymore. And by separating your leads like this, especially if you have a lot of leads, it's going to help you to get the highest conversion rate because you're going to focus your time on the most important leads. Then you're going to leave a note. Every time you speak to someone, you should leave a note. Now, when they're ready to book, you're going to come over here and you're going to click confirm booking. And then the app's going to say, do you want to collect a deposit or not? So everything's multiple choice and buttons. And that's another thing I think I've made different from the other CRMs is that it's very intuitive. No one has to learn how to use it. It's just the buttons are there and it's very logical. You get the inquiry in, boom, you go through the list. And then if they want to book, click confirm. And it should be very straightforward. So if I click I'm collecting a deposit, it's going to send the customer an email with a link to the booking form. And they're going to go and get that email. Let me see if I got that email from, did I finish the inquiry form here? I did. So I'm going to go and check my email. Did I send it to Gmail? Let me check. Let's see. So here's the inquiry response. Now you can change this email how you want it. You can also use it to put a dynamic link which puts a different PDF based on the event type. So you could have a wedding info pack or a general info pack or a kids party info pack. That could be a dynamic link. And then they're going to click view booking form. What that's going to do is instantly log them in to the booking form. Now once they're in the customer login area, this is what it looks like. Everything in the customer login area you can fully customize the design and make it a white label experience. So the cover image, you can change that. The logo in the top corner, you can change that. The theme color you can change. You can also change the fonts and you can use a custom domain. So customer will not even know that it's an EMP DJ. They're just going to think they're in your own system. And it's a very clean system, mobile friendly, and it's actually designed as a mobile app. You'll see that looks like a mobile app design. And it's designed so customers can come in and just click a button with their thumb. Upcoming events, okay, there's 2 upcoming events. So if you've got a venue with multiple events, they can come and print out the invoices and they don't have to nag you for them. But I'm going to go and click this event here. This is the one inquiry I just made. And then if I want to go through and complete the booking form, that's the next thing. So let's go to the booking form. Here the customer can go and complete all the details of their event. Now, if you want, you can lock this and then you can preset that yourself if you don't want them to play with the variables. But otherwise, you can just let them go and enter the details of their event and then go through and click the contract. Here you can put extra services, smoke machine, whatever it is, uplighting, all that stuff. They can add that and in real time, it's going to add it to the quote. And then they're going to agree and do to your contract. So let's go to that next step. Okay, once the event name, I'm going to say my birthday party. Submit. Okay, so this contract is, you can make as many contracts as you want, and you can also have them load based on event type. So you could have a corporate contract or wedding contract, and we have short codes. So you can paste your contract in and put the short codes to replace any of the dynamic information such as the event, start time and the address and all that sort of stuff. And they're going to come through here and sign it. And what that's going to do is instantly create the contract and download it for the customer instantly. So you'll see that a download is going to happen as soon as this processes. And it's also going to email you a copy of the contract as well. So you can just, when you go to your email, click a button and it's just going to download straight to your computer. So you've both got a copy of the contract which is what makes it a legal contract, because with a contract, to make it legal, both parties need to have a copy. Then we go to the checkout process. Now, with the checkout process, you can use multiple payment methods. We've got support for Stripe, Square, Venmo, and PayPal. And obviously you can do bank transfer and check. And the customer can also go on a payment plan as well. So the norm is like 2 payments. They pay a deposit now and they pay a balance just before the event starts or in the week of the event. But if they got a wedding that's far away, the app will automatically calculate today's deposit and then get the balance and divide it up into a final 3 payments. And if they choose that option, it's going to email them on the payment date and remind them to go in and make the next payment. So it's got installments built in. It doesn't automatically process their card, but it's just for them to go and remind them to go and go through this checkout process and make the next payment. For now, I'm going to choose bank transfer because we can't do a live credit card. What happens is we show the customer the bank details. We tell them, put the money through right now and then let us know now. Or if you want to do it later, click confirm later. If they click confirm later, it's going to send them an email with the bank details. So they can do it later, but if they do it now, it's going to send you an email and say, hey, they just put the money through. And then you can go and check your bank. After they've done that, they can actually download the contract from here. They can view the invoice. And then we have this event plan. Now the event plan is like a Google document. It's like a shared Google document that the customer can access, but also from the admin side, you can access, and you can load in a template. So you can load in a questionnaire for weddings or a music questionnaire. You can load in a timetable, like an Excel timetable that they can use to make a timetable for their event. So let me show you that quickly on the front end. So this is an example. I'm going to just clear that out. It's a HTML editor. You can put links and everything, right? So let me load in the wedding plan. That's my wedding plan, but I've also got that loaded in. So if you make it, you go and sign up, you're going to have access to this and you can tweak it. But what happens is once I save that, that's going to go on the job sheet. And the job sheet is what the DJ gets access to. When you assign a DJ to the job, when they log in, they can go and access the job sheet. They can't see how much you're charging, but they can see all that wedding plan and information. I'm going to download that job sheet so you can see how it looks as a PDF. So all that plan stuff that I just did there, that shows up right there, and that's what the DJ is going to follow. Once you have the booking through and you want to assign the DJ, you can come down here to manage performers, and you can see all your DJs. And what I do is I organize this list based on a star rating. You can give every DJ a star rating. 5 stars go at the top, then 4 stars, then 3 stars, and 1 or 2 stars don't show on the list. And then if I choose a DJ, it's also going to show me how many completed jobs. This guy's got 13 completed jobs. He's got a 5-star rating. And if I want, I can write a comment here and say, this DJ is really great. So if you've got someone else who's organizing the roster for you, it's going to help them to choose the DJs when they can see the DJ in this city has done this many jobs. I might give him a call and see if he's available, right? The other thing is you can actually add multiple DJs to the event. So if you can have a photo booth operator or a photographer, you can have them on the job as well. And you can even have them on a different schedule to the event. So where is it? If we go to calculate pay, we've got a pay calculator. So for every DJ, you can put their hourly rate and the app's going to automatically calculate their pay for you. And you just need to check it and make sure that it's correct and then click ready to pay. And there's another section where you can just go and mark them all off and pay them, right? But here you can also choose a custom schedule and say, no, the photographer's only going in for 2 hours. And so you can actually go here and change the start time and the amount of hours that they're doing the job, so you can manage all the different pays for the different people. That's that part. So as I was saying, after the booking comes through, the final thing is in the week of the event, you're going to see that this red line showing up on the side of the event here. That means that this event needs to be confirmed, and it hasn't been confirmed yet. It means you've got to call customer, confirm the address and the start time, make sure they've paid the balance, talk about the music, and then you've got to come here and then this button will show up in the week of the event, just randomly, confirm booking details. So when you click confirm booking details, it's going to email the customer a list of all the details of the event, say, yep, this is what you got to do, make sure you got this ready in a PowerPoint and all that sort of stuff. You can put all that in that confirmation email, and every one of these emails you can tweak. So that's going to confirm with the customer. In fact, speaking of the template emails, if we come down here, I've got an event checklist, and this is also going to help you see at a glance what's going on with your business. So I can see that the sale date, 20th of Feb, and then I can see the contract was signed also that date. This is the one I've just done right now. But also all the template emails that are related to these events that happen on the checklist, you can actually edit them from here. So it's very easy access to say, oh, we need to update that template email. Well, you can do it right from here. You don't have to go to the dedicated section, which is actually over here at the server emails. From the server emails, obviously you can edit every single email that is sent by EMP DJ from this list, and I think it's about 3 or 4 pages long of emails. So one of the things about EMP DJ is that I know there's some other systems that are so complicated that you need to hire someone to build all these automations for you. You don't need to do that because this is all in here for you. And it's quite universal, you know, like when they book, send them that email. When they confirm, send them that email. And after the event is done, the app is going to send an email to the customer with a link to the feedback form. And if they don't complete the feedback form, they're going to get a follow-up email after 7 days, say, hey, we didn't get your form. So can you please fill that in? When they do fill it in, if they leave you a positive feedback, you can set the parameters and say it must be at least 8 out of 10, and they must say yes, they will use our service again. Then it will ask them for a review, and you can put a link to all the places where you want reviews. If they're not happy with your service, then it doesn't ask them for you. It just says, hey, thanks for your feedback. You know, maybe someone will be in touch with you to talk about it. However you want to deal with your negative feedback. But essentially, we've got a system there to filter out the happy customers and the non-happy customers to try and get reviews from the right people. The other thing I guess I would like to show you is the event list itself. So on the dashboard, I showed you an event list here, but we have a dedicated event list screen. And so from here, you can see all the events. I've got 7,266 events. And in real time, I can see that's $4 million worth of revenue. That's not done events. Otherwise, I'd be rich, right? But but I can choose the filters here, and I can say, I want to see the high priority leads. I've got 3,500 worth of revenue right there. Instantly, I can see how much the pays and everything would be. Actually, I can't do the pays because you need to calculate the pays to see that. But I can pull up all these events that need to be followed up in real time. It's very quick and easy to access them events. And each time I use these, it's using the search filters here. You'll see that it's using the filters here. So I can actually go more advanced, and I say, show me all the done events that also happen to be corporate, let's say sporting clubs, corporate, Christmas party, annual party, high schools, universities. Let's look at them, all the done ones. Great, I've got 284 previous clients. What I can do is instantly export that to a CSV, take it straight to MailChimp, and then go and email all my previous customers from last year and say, hey, get in early, book 3 months early, we'll give you a 10% discount if you book again this year. So yes, some other apps can offer you that, but it might be harder to access that information quickly. So being able to quickly get those customers and email them, that's going to help you make more sales. But does anyone have any questions?
So we do wedding videos, we do DJ business, and we do photo books. Can the software as a CRM, could I use it to track all three? Or is it where you've got your DJ stuff, could I also then create categories to be able to use it in theory for everything we do?
Yeah. What we do is we have this extra equipment and services. So what you can do is in the pricing, instead of using the pricing system that we have there, is just set the prices to 0 for everything, and instead use the prices from this section, which is like the extra equipment and extra things. So you can create categories. Basically, you can add all the extra services here, and you can show them on the inquiry form. When they click that, you could use that for an automatic quote, but you can also just use it just to itemize everything and quote. So yeah, there is a way to do it.
And you can still track the back end. Would I be able to, like, I photo booth operators make a fraction of my DJs.
Yeah.
But all the different things, I mean, it's very robust, has all the things that I like it. I'm looking for a new CRM because we hadn't used Infusionsoft for years, and it's just way too complicated, way too whatever. So right now we're not doing anything.
Let me show you the pay system, how to pay the DJs, right? So we come here, click Make Payments. It's going to show all the DJs that are ready to pay. Remember before I showed you, first you check it and you go, okay, yep, make sure that that's correct, ready to pay. Now over here, all the ones that are not ready to pay, you can find them all here, and then at the moment it's opening in a new tab, but I'm going to make this open in this screen, and you'll be able to quickly review the details, check it, click it ready to pay, and then it'll show up on this side of the thing as the ready to pay. Then what you can do is group multiple group multiple events from one DJ into a payment. Because, you know, if you might pay a DJ $500 for 3 events, it's the same DJ, it's $1,500. So on the bank statement, the accountant says, what's this $1,500 here? And then you go, oh, that's paying David for those 3 events. And you'll be able to come back here and find those 3 events here. So essentially what you're doing is you're going to tick them to be paid, and then down here it's going to create the group payments, and you'll see if there's multiple events linked with that payment. So yeah, we've got a good system to keep track of and pay the DJs like that, and performers, or whatever you want to call them. Yeah, is that answer the question about pays? Yeah. So it does have Google Sync. You can sync it with Google Calendar. It's going to import the details of the event, so it's going to bring everything, for even payments and everything. It brings it into the calendar, so that you can, even if you're out and you're not, access to the app, you can check it on the Google.
When you send that quote to the client, can I customize the look of that email?
Yeah.
With graphics or photos or embedded video or anything like that?
Yeah. That is this. If we go to the server emails here, the very first email, you can, and you don't have to use it to customize the quote, but you can use it to make sure that the quote is calculated in the back end, and you can use that email just to say, hey, we'll be in touch with you in the next 24 hours or something. But this is the email, and it's a HTML editor, so that you can do anything that you can do with HTML. And any details collected from the inquiry form, you can use them. These are the shortcodes. You just click one of these shortcodes, like quote, and then just paste it, and it will paste it in there, and that's going to add that information.
Do you have the ability to link to a calendar where they can book a call?
We're going to build that in the next 2-3 months. Yeah, we're just going to build
right
it.
Now I have that link on the website.
Yeah.
And you click that, so it's like managing one. If I get integrated here, it's one less thing.
Yeah, I mean, you could put the link to the Calendly in that first autoresponder email, and say, hey, we're going to get in touch with you, but if you want to get in touch with us first, book into our calendar, But I would say in 2 or 3 months, we're going to be adding form building, and in that process, we're going to add them to be able to book in for pre-wedding consultations, basically like Calendly. So, yeah. And look, we've got reporting as well, reporting section. It's mainly just charts. We do have statistic reporting where you can work out some marketing information, but you can kind of find out, where all your work's coming from, and how many inquiries are coming in over time. This is like a real-time chart. You can just keep going back and looking at that information. Same with the the revenue minus the DJ, or the pays. Revenue minus pays. I find it interesting, especially when you go back really far back in time, like looking at the history of this business that I've sold. But you can see, how over COVID it literally went to 0, and then it slowly climbed up again. And if you can't see this stuff, it's hard to know. In fact, you might even forget how well your business was doing in the past. Because if I look back to 2016, it was doing much better, and I was, this was like, $30,000 running the business on my own. And the reason I'm telling you that is because I was running it at that time part-time while I was traveling around the world. So it was easy for me to manage with the app, because I was able to hire a stay-at-home mum to do the calls from home, and I'm able to also log in and keep an eye on and assign the DJs and do that sort of thing. So you can literally run a business making 20-30 grand a month on just 1 or 2 people, with a system that centralizes and automates everything. There's much less manual emails and things that you got to do. So
if I do have an office admin.
Yep.
So it wouldn't so I can assign who I want to be able to get into it. The DJs, I assume, then when you do that report for the event,
Yep.
it can be sent directly to their email. And then, or my guys are terrible. Like if I print it out and leave it in the office, they're going to be like, I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Is there a way in here to, once I sign that DJ, to be able to send the DJ, hey, you're booked for a wedding at the Holiday Inn?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When you lock the DJ on the job, it emails them instantly.
It does, okay. Perfect.
Yeah, it emails them
Gives
instantly.
them all the details.
Yeah. Let me show you what happens there. So, like, once you assign the DJ, it sends them an email. You click Assigns.
Okay.
Once they've checked the job sheet, it'll say on the checklist that they've checked the job sheet. So you'll know when they've, and if they haven't checked it, you can go, hey man, you haven't even checked the job sheet and it's Thursday, you know? Yep. You can check that they've checked the job sheet. If you've got multiple performers, that won't get checked on the checklist until they've all checked it. But I probably will add a way for us to see individual on this screen. We can probably add a way for us to know if they've checked it as well here too. So yeah, and look, going forward, as I was saying, we're about to add two-way SMS email.
Because my next question is, do you have the ability, because I'm amazed at how many clients who actually text us, they really
Yep.
they want you to
Text
respond.
easy, yeah.
So you would have that ability.
Well, right now you can send an SMS.
But you're looking to the point.
Yep. You can do an SMS right now. Like, right, if I do that, it's going to send this person an SMS right now. But they can't reply to it at the moment.
And do I have to have an integration with like Twilio or is it
We're going to use Text Magic.
okay.
It's way cheaper and it's less complicated because it's basically an email to text service. So you'll just go and sign up, and then you go and add your settings, which we're working on that. And then this is going to do email to text, and
So
it's like,
in order to be able to do that, would I have to do it in the admin, or do you have an app that I could send a text to a client?
no, it'll be you'll register with Text Magic, yeah, and then you go into here and add your Text
That's
Magic
what I mean, in order
email.
to be able to send that text message, do I have to be logged into the dashboard on a computer?
In
Or is
theory,
there an
you could
app
just
that I
send it
can
from
log
an
in
email.
and do it from the app?
Text Magic has their own app as well. That's pretty good. Yeah, but the idea is that what we're going to do is make it that when the customer applies, it's just going to show up into this, and we're going to redesign this so it looks more like a chat. So when they reply to the SMS, it's going to come in and go bloop, got the
The
SMS.
better question is, can I get to the dashboard? Do you have a mobile app that I can get into the EMP?
I mean, this is designed like a mobile app. If you'll see,
It really does look like.
if you log in on your phone, that's how it looks.
Okay.
So
So it doesn't look okay.
it's-
so then
it's-
I don't really need an app.
I focused on mobile first,
Okay.
and
I still see
yep.
it the same way, it's just gonna be smaller. All right.
Yeah, it's actually really good on the phone. You can literally do follow-up calls and send SMSs and email and then change a follow-up date and do what you need to do. So, because I've been doing this for 10 years and it wasn't mobile friendly in the past, you know, we actually did a massive revamp last year, redesigning everything into mobile sort of design, and you'll see customer login also has a very, you know, mobile design. So,
So in that customer login page, I'm assuming I'm gonna customize that with my logo,
yeah, you just add the logo. It's going to put there automatically.
So it's gonna be branded.
Yeah, you can brand it, yeah. And you can brand, you know, obviously like the login screen you can brand as well, you know, like the background image, your logo right there.
Okay.
And, you know, with the custom domain, you don't even have to add a subdomain. The custom domain, you add the subdomain that you want, and then you just add an A record in your domain settings, and boom, it just starts working in 10 minutes. So it's really easy to set up.
I'm sure I know what you mean by that.
Yeah, it's not complicated, yeah. But yeah, I think the subdomain's really good. It looks professional. Cool. Well, thank you everyone for coming down. Appreciate it.